It's round 10 of the 1987 National Finals Rodeo. And if that year taught us anything, it's appreciate greatness while you have it. In 1987, it was the only world championship for a bull rider named Lane Frost.
Welcome back, everyone, to the 1987 National Finals Rodeo. And we're coming to you from Thomas and Mack, beautiful Coliseum Arena here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Hadley Barrett along with Bob Tallman, Randy Corley, and Pam Minnick. And you see the big money that is being won in the bull riding. 86 grand for Lane Frost. He's in the lead. Now Ted Nuce, right behind him, is in the lead of the average. We cautioned you that the average is going to be very, very important in the bull riding. Beaver Jernigan is the young man you see right there drawing his rope up. He's on number 11 of the Silver Spurs Rodeo Company. The bull comes out of Florida, and Jernigan has not struck for any money yet.
Well, the strike is about to begin, Mr. Barrett, right here. And strike one jump at a time. Keep your feet in him, Beaver. The fancy pink shafts of this cowboy, and in the last couple of years, as we've watched him come on, he has rode some of the unridables. I think maybe a little pressure. We called it first night jitters in the first round. Have hung with him, Hadley, and I didn't expect that coming into the 87 finals. This kid can ride.
Yes, he can, Bob, and as we watch the replay of this ride, I might also mention that the fact that he qualified the bull may come back to be very, very important to him. With a great big 80-point ride, we're looking at the A team, as they call it, in the pen of bulls. So to even ride 4 of them out of these 15 will be quite a feat in itself. 80 points for Beaver Jernigan, as he sets the pace for us very, very early in the riding. Now, history could be made right here.
It's gonna be.
This young man from Arizona, Cody Custer, has drawn Red Rock, the bucking bull of the year, and a bull that will be retired after this ride. And if Cody fails to ride him, the bull will have a perfect record, never ridden.
309 times. The Oregon bull is gonna go to the ground with another cowboy. Ladies and gentlemen, to John Crowney from Red Bluff, California. And Hadley, I'm a little bit partial. Cody, I'm so sorry that the top of your head is 4 inches down into your neck, but that bull bucks every guy off the same way. Our Justin Healers are looking him over now.
Randy, could you see what happened? Did he slam his head into the chute or what?
Boy, he really did. That bull spun him around and slammed him into that bucking chute. Hit his head right on it.
Watch here now. There's the hip, Randy, and you and I have watched him do it so many times. Look at that. Oh, man.
Right square on his head. Oh, man.
Well, that old bull has all of the power in the world, and there it is, Red Rock, Red Bluff.
He puts Red Bluff on the map, and I'll tell you, he's going to green pastures and clear, clean water for the rest of his life.
He said, well, I'm drawing Red Rock. And I said, son, you know, it could be the first time it ever been ridden. Cody said, that's my attitude, that's my spirit. I'm glad that I've drawn him. It's an honor for me to be on his back. I know that he'll remember it always, and go down to the annals of history to the last cowboy, the bull of hope. Well, that bull was this talented young man from Arizona who will be back to many more national finals in days to come. He's up on his feet right now, and he's talking to Dr. Evans, and he's going to walk out with a little bit of help. So he's great. Cody,
all right, Cody is up and walking off now. I see Dr. J. Pat Evans over there on his right, Don Andrews of the Justin Healer program. And how important are these men to our contestants here?
They're invaluable. And so is this man invaluable.
Hey, he is the new world champion Wrangler bullfighter is what he is.
The Smurf.
Mike Horton is his name.
There's a champion.
Yep, 3 times.
Yes, from Roseburg, Oregon. Rob Smets, born and raised in California. Florida and Oregon represented. And
that little funny guy, he said, yeah, don't you try that now. Ted Kimsey, he has a lot of fun with the people all across the world. Look at that, somebody shook him right out of his hair.
Well, what I was going to ask you was, what happened to his head? It looks like it's from Nebraska.
Vance Avery is our bull rider, and Vance is in trouble. I thought his hand was caught in that rope, and matter of fact, it was for a while. I see him kind of holding that free arm in tight to his body. I think the bull may have hooked him with a horn right there.
You're going to have a chance to look at it again right now. Started out over the bull, trying to stay away from that high hip jump, and he did everything right. But his feet were loose. He couldn't keep the left foot in him. There's the bump of the hump. Now here comes where he tries to get in close. He's doing what he needs to do, but the bull comes around with the left horn just as they open him up. Rob Smets and Mike Horton right there. That's a tough way to have to get loose, to get punched in the chest like that.
You are right.
Hate to say it, Hadley, but better you than me if I had to talk to Vance.
Dale Johansen has drawn a Russell bull called Pacific Bell. Now this is a rank bull. I talked to Bob Edson. He reminded me of when we watched this bull earlier in the week. This is the bull, you may recall, and you may know him better than I do, that got way in the air. I mean, can jump so high.
Now, what happened and what Hadley's talking about, he threw a guy off, and I think what he thought the next jump was going to have to be his worst. This bull hit the ground, splattered, and then scattered, and I would estimate maybe an 8-9 foot jump off the ground. Watch it. The Russell Rodeo Company can be very proud of what they've brought here, along with good horses. Oh boy, and I'll tell you what, he's a hooker as well. He likes to poke those shish kebabers in people's bodies.
As you watch this ride, and as you watch Dale come down from this high jumping bull, may I again remind you of what I stated earlier when Jernigan opened it up with a successful ride.
Yep.
I don't know how many bulls are going to ride at this pen, and they could ride as few as the one, for that matter. We do know we have one ridden. Well, now we're going to go to Gary Toole again. As we go to Gary Toole's ride, we're looking at another history-making matchup. Mr. T, last year's bucking bull of the year. He's owned by Hal and Pete Burns up in Wyoming. This bull is unridden up to date, and he is a big rodeo-looking hound, isn't he?
Well, you saw Red Rock. Then you get to see Mr. T. Benny Butler's Cowtown is yet to come, and Bradford Ivy's Ott. We think those are the four worst, even though they are the best bucking bulls in the business. Come on, Gary Toole, make a little history right here. Woo, boy. Oh, no. Oh, am I glad that bull's aim was off today. I guarantee you what, if he'd have stuck a horn in him as big as they are, it'll let the air out of him for a week. Oh, what a terrible way to come to the ground. Toole, he's happy to be alive, but I wished he could have rode him. I wish a lot of things, but in that case, it's so important when you draw one of the greatest bucking bulls of our time, if they can get him rode. Oh, he tried so hard. Bull just out-tried him, Hadley.
Oh, yes, he did.
Ooh, look
at that. Is that a close call?
Ooh.
Well, I think we should credit these great bulls for the athletes that they are. These guys are scrambling for big bucks as well. And again, you see the money paid out in each of the 10 go-rounds. That happens 10 times, that 1 through 4. The average money totals for $65,000, and the number one man wins over 19 of it. Chuck Simonson, he took a shot a little earlier this week, and he's got a swelled up mouth over right now.
He tried to bite the right horn off a bull at the end of the ride, and that's not a good habit to get into.
Bob Simonson is one of the men we're going to have to deal with in the average money. He, Jim Sharp, and Tuff Hedeman that we'll see earlier, or a little later, they can affect Ted Nuce and Lane Frost's battle for the championship very, very much.
A lot of people wonder where these bulls come from. This one came off the desert from the Twisselman family. They call it Carissa Springs. He's a bull that belongs to Cotton Rosser. Chuck has not had the nicest week or most comfortable week here.
Bob, speaking, as we watch this again, and speaking of that average, actually, these men right here, like Simonson, that was in the average hunt, is really on Lane Frost's team, because Ted Nuce is in the lead of the average, and Frost is 3 shots below him. He's already moved up 1 notch as a result of this man coming down.
Well, they're just thumping them one right after the other. As of now, it's 5-1 in favor of the bulls, and they have a small advantage here today, Mr. B.
At least. Ricky Lindsay on Red Rocker of the Neil Gay string. Now, traditional of Neil's bulls, you'll see some of those big crossbred brindles, I guess is the term the rodeo people use a lot of times. And normally they're a little snuffy, too.
Neil Gay does not want one if he won't hook a truck off a freeway. But he has some phenomenal bulls. That's where Donnie Gay was trained, along with a lot of the rest of our champions. Well, he snuffs another one out of there. Watch out, boys. Look at the clowns. They're going to go to the fence, too. Smets, he said it might be the 10th round, but I want to go home in one piece.
So now we're 1 for 7. And bear in mind that some of these people have ridden 6 or 7 of the, oh man, talk about it.
Rocket fuel. I mean, you talk about jet propelled, out lump, and then when they hit, jump into it again. If you aren't set, they're going to throw you off.
This is certainly the A-team when you look at the bullpen, and we know we have the A-team in these great athletes. Now, Cody Snyder is the man drawing his rope up right now. He's a former champion of the world. He comes from Canada as the flags fly again. I'll tell you what, this man, a left-handed rider, is drawing a bull called Lefty of Northcott. I think we might break this little string and get the Cowboys back on the winning side.
Well,
right
it's about time. Come on, Cody. He can't win another world championship, but he wins a lot of money on both sides of the line. Hadley, I have something as we watch Cody get ready. I want to ask you, you mentioned a moment ago that John Grounding was going to retire Red Rock, and you know, we don't always talk about retirement. The bull is going to the pasture, and they're going to turn him out with the cows. Does that mean that we're going to have gravel coming up soon? A little Red Rocks?
I think we are. Yes,
Okay,
we are. Gravel. That's a pretty good term. I'll tell you what, I want to go on record right now before we go any further that Bob Edson has predicted that we will ride 3 of the 15 here in this last round.
Hey.
There is Mr. Wendell Hamilton. He is the president and chief executive of the board. Yes,
mentioned earlier what Wendell is going to give to the Cowboys and our bronzes to all of our champions from award medal designs, and we say thanks. Oh, come on, Cody.
How come they call this bull Lefty when he goes to the right?
I don't care. I'm going to go with Bob Edson. Edson's been right about 85% of the time in all 10 rounds, and he's back in there again. We finally got a second one roll.
I got to take that away from Bob Edson, because a moment ago when I stated that Cody had ride him, he said, no, it's a later one. It's a later one that we're going to
no. I don't care. We finally got another one rode. Now we're 2 for the Cowboys.
Now let's watch this again. As we do, don't move from your chair, because we're going to be right back with Cody's score and more exciting bull riding from the National Finals Rodeo. But first, let's pause for a word from our sponsors.
More action from 1987 when we come back. 1987, so many great world champions, so many dynasties. Let's get back to the action.
Welcome back to the bull riding here at the National Finals Rodeo in Las Vegas. We promised you an update on the score by Cody Snyder as we went out to commercial. It is an 80-point ride, so he and Jernigan, the only 2 successful riders thus far, are now sharing the lead. All right, the supporters for Jim Sharp. Rides and looks, and boy, they've got it, haven't they? I love the inside of this building and the support.
Hadley, as we watch Jim Sharp, finding him here today in a position of 3rd place in that average. Let's say that a couple more of these guys that are in the top 5 in the average are thrown off. And Beaver Jernigan and Cody Snyder that are 12th and 15th out of that average, you might say, are the only 2 marked rides, both at an 80. You know, we could step a guy from about 8th into 6th and get him a paycheck where he did not know if he was even going to get a taste of the money. That's why when we talked in the opening today, and Hadley mentioned, you cannot predict anything in this event.
That's right.
Come on, Jimmy.
Come on, Sharp. Boy, this kid can ride. He is so hard to throw off.
He's going to do it.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to go out on a limb here and boast a little, because I picked this particular match as one that was going to be one of the successful ones. I thought he could ride this bull called Danny Boy. If we have a chance to see that again, you'll notice that Danny Boy, in the first 3 seconds of the ride, gave Jim his very best shot, and he took him.
That's what he normally does, and that is where he would 9 out of 10 times on behalf of Dan Russell have a little spring planting. Right about here is where he sets him up. See what he did? Now, Jimmy knew what he was going to do. He'd set his feet, leaned out as far as he could. Now, watch him right there. Reached and grabbed again. This kid can think, act, and ride. They're only marking him 73. The fans are upset. Folks, he's done something that 90% of the time won't happen.
You're right. There's our friends from ESPN, and again, we salute them for bringing such great sports coverage to our homes every year. This is Clint Runger.
Well, they're going to try to start riding the ball. I think they know that's the only way you're going to get any money out of it.
Look at this, would you?
Now, he needs to try to jump up 1. We've moved a couple of guys out of that average. He is 7th, 1 money out of the pay window on all of the money paid in the average.
Bob Edson.
He could get lucky.
Bob Edson just moved his prediction to 4. Is that legal?
I think our statistician's starting to get a little flaky on us. He's running loose and running scared at the end of the game.
All right, Bronc really fitting a ride on this bull and making it look so easy. He scores a 73. If I might revert back to Jim Sharp's 73 score a moment ago, and the in-house audience didn't like it at all, but he has now ridden 8 of 10 bulls, and he maintains such a tremendous, solid position in the average. And we look down the list of bulls that some of these other guys have drawn. Man, oh man, speaking of Bronc, $17,000 he's won. Look at that. Is that a good shot? Listen to these guys. That's the glove of Wasey Cathy. You see the WC on it.
And the dollar signs on the emerald green chaps. Oh, no. You know, I have never seen a dollar sign or anything that has to do with money tied on a pair of chaps in 30 years. That's something new. Somebody thought that up.
Well, the Kirby outfit had 2 bulls in our final pin, and they bat 500. Bronc rides 1. Another one brings Cathy down. Old Crusher. That's what we call him. Ooh, man, tough way down. Now, I might point out, in all of the great respect to him, there's Tuff Hedeman and his fans. Bull riding is tough, and they're talking about Tuff Hedeman. Hedeman has drawn a bull that 3 times has been crowned the bucking bull of the year. Other times he has been the bull of the finals. I don't really think that this is Tuff's style of bull. However, I've seen the man ride literally every kind. Now, he's 2nd place in the average, too.
I did an interview with him the other day for our Great American Cowboy show, and I asked him, I said, what made you want to be a cowboy? He said, I was 5 years old. He said, if it was sheep, if it was dogs, hogs, horses, cattle, I wanted to get on it and ride. He said, I've never done anything else, never played any other sports. All I wanted to do would be a champion. Here is total concentration and undoubtedly total devotion to the bull riding. He's a Bronc rider. He can rope as well. There is the picture of an all-around cowboy.
Bob, I want you to know that this is absolutely the thickest plot of the day, and as Jim Sharp has ridden his bull, Hedeman comes back and rides his. The pressure continues to mount on Ted Nuce, who happens to be 1 full bull ahead of everybody. Well, that's on numbers ridden. That's what we're talking about. But they're going to force him to ride this bull today. If we keep on. 84 comes up big. 84 for Hedeman.
Now that could change a few things, but in the 80s to a split for 2nd and 3rd. He wants some money. Wants some money. And you're worried about Ted Nuce riding the bull. Let's ride one with Joe first. If it happens, here's Benny Butler's. Oh, no. I don't want to just say world famous Cowtown. I'll tell you, there's a lot of people that know this bull on a first name basis.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And last year, they saluted that tremendous bucking bull, and Benny Butler and his firm as bucking bull of the year. That's the last bull that Joe wanted to draw in this pen, I can tell you for sure.
Well, he got away with his teeth. Not everybody will do that. Ooh, boy. Maybe I spoke too soon. We'll have to see his smile.
Nooseland, USA, the fans say for this smiling little guy. Ted Nuce has ridden 8 of 9 bulls. Look at that California crowd wave for him. Well, I kind of predicted it like this. If Ted rides this bull, he's going to force Lane Frost to win the go-round and move at least 1 notch up in the average. That may be hard to do.
What's he doing in there? He's grinning.
He told me that he was tickled about this draw.
But he needs to be concentrating on what's about to happen.
You can bet he is. The tension is high. Now, Hedeman is also a strong contender. He's leading the average, but if Ted rides this bull, then he's going to win the average. He'll be 1 full bull ahead of everybody here, and they can't take it away from him.
Hadley, over the years of watching this man get on the hundreds of bulls that he has, actually thousands, I have never seen him grin like that. Now, was he gritting his teeth or was he grinning and laughing? That is no time not to be serious. Randy ought to be eye to eye with him down there. What's happening, Randy?
Well, what is happening is that bull is really squatting down inside of the chute with him right now. I don't know why he's grinning either, but when he gets him up, we'll watch the action of it.
Stay up, Teddy, stay up, Teddy, stay up. No.
Oh. This thing is going to go down to the wire. Now, Randy, talking about the bull raising cane in the chute, that's what cost this man the only buck off that he had earlier when a bull hipped himself into the corner of the chute gate. But listen to those fans salute Ted Nuce.
Well, his concentration may have been broken the 9th round by coming down. Then again here today, things maybe not enough of a challenge. If he'd have had to ride him to be the first to ride 10, it might have changed things. If and or but, you can if yourself to death, and it's not over yet.
I'll tell you one thing, Bob Tomlin, this one is going to the computer.
Yes, it is.
Speaking of that, I'd like to thank Steve Fleming and his entire staff in the press room for providing the vital information that we need so dearly. Steve, thank you. Well, this is Lane Frost. Lane has drawn a bull that maybe doesn't have as many flowers hanging on his horns as some of these we've talked about, but I talked to some of the bull riders earlier, and I talked to Wacy Cathy's wife. She told me that this bull Ott that belongs to Ivy has never been ridden. The bull had been in open rodeo competition before he came up to the pro ranks. They didn't ride him back there. They haven't ridden him here. So I don't think that Frost is drawing the best one here.
Watch this yellow whale jump, then hop, skip, turn back to the right. Into him, Lane Frost going to ride him.
He's going to get him.
Here's the changeup. He's not going to quit. Lane Frost is going to come from right. Look out, look out.
Boy, he really came down right on top of Lane, but he's up and all right.
He was not in the post position coming in, Randy, but you've got him up front now.
1987, what a special year. So many great world champions. And of course, Lane Frost, he'll be remembered in history and our hearts forever. That's the 1987 Round 10 from the National Finals Rodeo. Thanks for watching right here on the Cowboy Channel.